tall enough. I have to admit, I knew I was going to be valedictorian freshman through junior year. But there isn't a whole lot of competition when you're homeschooled and the only one in your class. So Menwood Hill's not actually that small. But needless to say, I am really surprised and honored to be here, and I will do my best to avoid sounding like a cheesy Disney princess film in this speech. Not that there's anything wrong with Disney princess films. Guys, we made it. To my class, you're the first people I want to thank for welcoming in the homeschooler and making my first year at real school really fun. From all of us to the teachers, thank you for putting up with us and for pouring into us. How many schools in the States can you call your AP Lit teacher coach, or speak Spanish with your biology teacher, or ask your track coach about your history homework? Thank you, teachers, staff, and coaches. You balance all the hats you wear with grace, and we love and appreciate all you do. To Mr. Shaw, who patiently allows me to steal his Post-its, borrow his teapot, interrupt his peaceful working, and trash his classroom with my organizing piles every other period, thanks for helping me and listening to me complain about calculus, and helping us distance learners remember to keep calm and carry on no matter what. To my mom and dad, obviously without you I wouldn't be standing here at all, but without who you are as people, I wouldn't be giving this speech or even be someone worth listening to. I am who I am because of you. To my 3 awesome little siblings, thanks for taking care of your big sister and being amazing. I'm so proud of you. To God, everything I am and hope to be is because of you. Thank you for being my constant through every up and down. When I was thinking about this speech, I was having trouble coming up with some deep thought, and I didn't really want to quote a celebrity or a famous person that none of us know. I decided, however, to appeal to authority and privately interview some wise philosophers, otherwise known as the kindergarten through 3rd grade classes of Menwood Hill. Some of their suggestions for celebrating graduation were to rent a castle, have a snowball fight, jump off the Eiffel Tower with one of those glidey thingies, prank all my brothers who are mean to me with whipped cream, eat ice cream, eat a lot of ice cream, eat lots of ice cream. After graduation, they said you should remember to do your manners, don't make backwards 3s because they can look like cursive E's, don't get eaten by bears on field trips, remember to be a pop star, and remember to be a pirate. When I asked the little kids what they thought we should remember as we go off to college, which they informed me was where you get a cabin and sleep in bunk beds, I was surprised at the one common theme besides ice cream throughout my questions. Don't forget your family. Always remember that your family is always going to be at home and they're always there for you. Remember your friends and your siblings. Remember your family. Remember your family, they always love you. Remember your friends. Remember how much fun you had and how much stuff you learned. Remember your family. Remember your teachers and your moms and your dads, everybody in your family and everyone you loved. Remember your sisters and your brothers. Remember that you're going to college for 3 years or more and that you only get to come home on holidays. Never forget your family. So to make sense of this all, being the addictive list maker that I am, I made a list of how I see their main points. Number 1, party hard. Number 2, don't let anybody else tell you what you can and can't do. Number 3, remember who you are and the people who brought you there is way more important than what you do. Number 1, party hard, is pretty easy as long as you have lots of ice cream. Number 2 is a little more complicated, at least to anyone in high school. In elementary school and middle school, when you tell an adult you want to be a pop star or a butterfly scientist or an author, you usually hear, "That's great," or "Sounds cool, keep at it." But in high school, you're more likely to hear, "Well, that's nice, but it's not a very marketable career." A few months ago, a professor from a university came to speak to the seniors about preparing us for college. We all sat politely, and as usual, I'm ready to take notes if necessary. First, he asked us what we planned to major in. I hate that question. I love literature, writing, teaching, music, and even enjoy calculus when it's not 2 a.m. Fit that in a career. He then asked anyone who wanted to be a teacher to raise their hand, and then proceeded to, although jokingly, tell them to cut off their hand because teaching doesn't pay well. Instead, we should all become petroleum engineers. To be honest, I think the elementary schoolers had the right idea. If you want to be a pop star, or a teacher, or a petroleum engineer, then do it. Why should we give up our passions because of a few zeros on a paycheck? The elementary school students didn't seem that concerned with what we were going to do with our lives after this. And oddly enough, they didn't have any advice about finding a marketable career or about finding ourselves, which is another thing we hear a lot as we're graduating. Have you ever thought about how weird that sounds? I wonder what the kindergartners would think if you said, when you're older, you're gonna have to go find yourself. Sometimes I think we can get more caught up in finding ourselves than being ourselves. Number 3 on the list is that life isn't about doing something, but about being someone, for yourselves and for others. There are many people I admire, love, and look up to as great people, and I realized I don't know their college degrees, their promotional record, or their GPA. I don't know how many trophies or certificates or diplomas they have or don't have, and I don't really need to. I know for a lot of us, there's a good measure of uncertainty as far as what we're going to do when we leave here today, and also for the younger students that are working towards this day too. We might not know the magic combination of majors, minors, and jobs that will fit us at 17 or 18 years old, but we already know a lot about who we want to be. And it starts with just what the little kids tend to remember, those we admire and those who love us and know us best. Like the person you can always trust and lean on, knowing she'll always have a smile and a fruit basket, like Dr. G. And the person who whistles every morning between work, in between bestowing good mornings and instilling the importance of good morning in others, like Mr. Warner. I already know I want to be a person like that. Remember the bus driver who always asks you how you've been, the teacher who spends her lunch break helping you with college essays, the parent who tutors calculus at midnight, and the mom who drops everything to talk to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I know already I want to be a person like that. There's a lot of things we don't know about our future, and that can be really overwhelming. But we don't have to worry about finding ourselves and what we're going to do if we take the elementary students' advice and start with remembering who we want to be like. The elementary school's impression of graduation is pretty much reduced to big kids walking around in silly-looking hats. And seriously, who came up with these things anyway? They're so annoying. But really, if all we're celebrating is getting that piece of paper over there, then maybe it is as silly as that. But it's not. We're celebrating not just what we've done, but the people we've become over these 4 years. It's not really about how many AP classes we took, or how many goals we scored, or how many quarters we did or did not attain the coveted golden seminar pass. The name on that paper and the person behind it mean far more than the paper itself. Today we're moving on, but we're holding on. 11, 12 years ago, we knew how to party hard, stick to our dreams, and focus on the person we are being and those around us. If we can figure out how to think like that again, I might dare to say that getting eaten by bears on field trips may indeed be one of the biggest worries we'll have to face. As long as the name on that paper means far more to others than the paper will ever mean, or for that matter, any other award or certificate we'll receive, I think all that's left to be said is to echo the little kids in a final word of advice to remember as we graduate: have fun.